It's time for the Burning River Sportscast. We are live at the 12th annual Bark at the Park, presented by Dawg Tailgate. We'll be trying like hell not to adopt any dogs and talking to fans all afternoon about what else? The Browns. And we'll break it all down for you next on the Burning River Sportscast.
I mean, it's loud, it's noisy, it's smelly. I mean, that's the inherent nature of kennels.
Are you talking about the Muni lot, or are you talking about...
Well, both. Both. They're both... Yeah.
All these championships, 11 for women, 6 for the men, and every time I go visit my family in Connecticut, no one cares about anything. The Browns win 2 games in a row, they want to have a parade.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We have a better dental plan than most people in Pittsburgh, but the food's very similar.
I'm in Cincy. I'm having a blast, and they have the tailgates on there are kind of crazy. It's under a bridge, which Bengals, that's where they belong. Under a bridge, but
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast, presented by the fine folks at Tap In Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, seated beside Dean Malenko's personal trainer and ex-lover, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. We are sans bone today, as the Bone Man is terrified of canines, because bones.
Yeah.
Back to Red Hot.
Yo,
Where can our listeners find the dopest dope they ever heard on the podcast, as well as the only podcast dedicated to Cleveland Browns backers everywhere?
you can find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm talking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Castro, Good Pods, and so many more.
So many more.
And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. The only place you can find our video podcast, and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Our handle for all those socials is at Burning River Sportscast, and we are on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, with the handle at Burning River Pod. And just so you know, while you're at it, check out our merch, www.thetapinmedia.com/shop. We've got all kinds of stuff in there. Keep adding to it. I feel like we should put something like dog related for
We need some
episode,
dog things. We need some toddler clothes as well,
Yeah.
because I was looking for stuff for baby Kenny, and we got nothing.
Yeah.
We just got to update the shop.
Yeah, we got to update the shop. And on today's show, here's what you can expect. We're here with the Top Dog Tailgate at the 12th Annual Bark in the Park in Berea, Ohio. We're here to support City Dogs Cleveland. Woo. There's dogs here that people can take home, and I know they will, because these dogs are cute as hell.
I'm going to try not to.
You guys are definitely getting a dog.
We already have a dog.
You're going to get another one.
My
maybe
wife
two.
will be so mad.
Yeah, but being that we are here on site, we will spend the entire episode today interviewing some of the organizers of the event. We'll be interviewing Browns fans that are joining the festivities. It's just going to be very casual today. Kind of get people's takes on the Browns and on the event.
Cash.
But we do have one other really big thing
announcement.
today. As you can see in front of me here is a football. And as you can see, it's wrapped in plastic and it has a signature on it. And there's a reason for that. Since we're doing this event with dogs, and we're all a faithful part of the Dog Pound.
Dogs.
In honor of the biggest dog we've ever seen step foot on a football field, we are launching our Nick Chubb autographed football giveaway.
Hell yes.
That's right. So stop, sit, listen closely. We're about to run you through a full course training on why Burning River Sportscast is the best damn Browns pod in the land. And maybe if you're real lucky, we'll reward you with a nice belly rub. And with that, let's kick things off with an interview with City Dogs Cleveland.
Dope. All right, so we are here today, the Bark in the Park. We have Beth from City Dogs Cleveland. Beth, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you guys?
Hanging in there.
Good. And so tell us a little bit about your organization. Obviously, you're, like you said, you're with City Dogs Cleveland. What does City Dogs Cleveland do?
So City Dogs Cleveland is the adoption program of the Cleveland Kennel, also known as Cleveland Animal Care and Control. So we try to find you your new best friend, dogs that are from the streets of Cleveland.
Awesome. And so how long have you guys been around?
So the City Dog program is actually 10 years old this year, so we're having our holidays or birthday celebration. And our Friends of City Dogs Cleveland is the official nonprofit for the kennel. And so we raise money to help with canine enrichment, medical needs, and the volunteer programs.
Great. And so I know you said you guys are about 10 years old. This is, even though this is the 12th annual Bark in the Park, I know he was it's been involved with other charities in the past, but has this become kind of a highlight for you guys on your schedule every year?
Yeah, we've Eric from Dawg Tailgate has been a great supporter of ours over the years. We've done tailgating downtown on game days. Obviously, we've come here and have different cookouts with him. Mac for Mutts. He's a great supporter, and he loves the dogs.
And as we understand, there are dogs on their way here today, correct?
This is correct. We will have a few adoptable dogs available here shortly so that everybody can meet them and hopefully either adopt, support, spread the word about the dog.
I don't think you're going to have a problem. You bring dogs to events like this, people love dogs. They're going home. They're going to find their new homes. So do you have any other events that are coming up as well?
Absolutely. Our 5th annual 5K is going to be on June 22nd, and that will be at Edgewater Park up on the shores of Lake Erie. You can visit friendsofcitydogscleveland.com is our website to get registration information. You can also visit, we're on all the socials. So Friends of City Dogs and City Dogs Cleveland, we are on all the socials. You can find more information there.
I know we follow City Dogs Cleveland, but I have to follow Friends of City Dogs Cleveland. And also, I will put a bunch of that information in our show notes. That way, anybody that's interested, go ahead and check those, and you'll be able to see what she's talking about and check out all of their upcoming events.
Do you have, sorry, I know going off script a little bit here, do you know like how many dogs like you service or support or help like each year, like as far as the size of the organization and the effort each year?
So the kennel is owned by the city of Cleveland. So we are part of the safety department. We are all volunteers here today, but we support them. And they pick up all the dogs from Cleveland proper. So this is not the county, this is not Northeast Ohio, it's just from Cleveland. So our animal control officers, ACOs, they are out and about 365 picking up dogs. These dogs then end up, some of them get returned to their owners, some of them end up coming and being available for adoption. They get about approximately 5,000 animals per year.
Wow.
We adopt them out directly to the public. We are a municipal shelter, which means they are open intake. They cannot turn dogs away. So some rescues can say, oh, we're full, we can't take any more. The kennel can't do that. So if a dog is loose, they have to bring it in.
That's why it's so important for an event like today to have these dogs adopted out by their forever home, right?
Yes, so microchip your dogs, register your dogs, so that if they do get lost, whatever city you live in, hopefully they can get returned to you.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, like you said, working with the city of Cleveland and everything, it's a great service that you guys are doing on the front end as well, bringing these dogs in, helping them potentially find their owners that are already out there looking for them. But then if you can't, then trying to rehome them. So it's kind of a step further than a lot of other shelters take, it seems like. So.
Yeah, we have a wonderful volunteer organization. We're always looking for volunteers we walk dogs 365 days a year. We need people to adopt, to donate, to volunteer. We have about 40 dogs right now in foster homes with our volunteers, and our event team, we do over 100 events per year all over Northeast Ohio, and that's all volunteers that are doing those.
So fostering is one of those things that seems like has caught on, at least from my eyes, like recently a lot. Can you talk about like what's the general expectation to foster? Is it like 2 weeks? Is it a month long? Like what's the average?
Once you're a volunteer, we do ask people, if you're able, dogs that are struggling in the kennel, dogs that would do better in a home, because the kennel is a stressful environment. It's loud, it's noisy, it's smelly. That's the inherent nature of kennels.
Are you talking about the Muni lot, or are you talking about?
Well, both. Both. They're both. And we do have sometimes we transport dogs to other rescues, maybe out of state. Maybe you do have a short-term situation where they need to get out for a couple days before they move on to their next adventure. Maybe we have a medical dog that needs recovery from heartworm treatment. So, it could be a few weeks, it could be a few months. And obviously, as a foster, you want to be able to help market. Anything you see on social media, that's all also run by volunteers. So the bios, the stories, the photos, it's all volunteer driven.
So if you see that stuff, share it, get the word out.
Yes, get the word out. Help us to get these dogs adopted.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we're super grateful for everything that you do, everything that you guys have done, and everything you continue to do going forward for the city of Cleveland, for our furry friends everywhere.
Our canine friends.
So thank you so much for joining us and being on the show. And this is a great event. We think we're going to make this a yearly thing. It's really fun, and we're looking forward to seeing all of these dogs. So.
Well, thank you for having me, and come down to City Dogs Cleveland to find your new best friend.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. All right, we are now here with Eric from Dawg Tailgate. Eric, how are you today?
I'm excited. I'm glad that everyone's here today to help support the dogs and bring in the Browns community together.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So let's start this thing off with a brief version of your story before we even get into the actual tailgate. I know you kind of have an interesting story on how you came to Cleveland. So can you go through that a little bit?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Connecticut, and my dad was a Browns fan with no ties to Ohio. He was a blue-collar worker. He worked at a place called Pratt Whitney, which makes jet engines. So he was blue-collared, and he wanted to follow a team that was blue-collared like him. So it was the Giants at one time, or the Steelers, which we hate. And he's like the Browns, and so he picked the Browns. And I've been punished my whole life. So with good parenting comes with children that like the same teams their parents do. So I've been tortured my whole life living in New England, which wins a lot of championships over the last 20 years or so. And I was like, okay, well, I like the same teams my dad does. We like the Browns. My sister went to Case Western in 2001, and I was like, well, maybe I should visit my sister. She's in Cleveland. That's my favorite football team. So I would visit her, obviously, on Browns weekends, make it convenient for myself. I know as selfish as that sounds, but I'm like, okay, see my sister, see the Browns, it's cool. And it was funny because the first tailgate I ever had in my life, I'm driving down West 3rd and Summit, and I see these guys with these 55-gallon barrels and campers, and they're hammered. And I'm like, I had nowhere to go, and I drove down to the docks where they don't have any tailgating because the cars ended up in the lake. That's a different story. But driving down West 3rd and Summit, I saw these guys. I'm like, those guys are badass. And now, 20-some years later, I'm under the bridge now. So, going back a few steps, visiting my sister for a while, and my sister's like, oh, they got these Browns backers clubs. I'm like, for real? She's like, oh, every town's got them. I'm like, in every city. I'm like, seriously? And guess what? There was one right outside of Hartford called Southern New England Browns backers. So I joined the club, and there was a little hole in the wall, and every Sunday they get hammered, and we watch them lose. And I'm like, we go to one trip a year, and that's when I first started going to Media Lot. I'm like, oh my God, this is like Mecca, no holds barred. And that's when Media Lot was 24 hours. We'd get there on Saturday, get really revved up and messed up, and go to the game on Sunday, and probably watch them lose. But our one trip a year, we go home. And then fast forward to 2007, the Cavs were in the playoffs, and I went on eBay and I bought PSLs because the Browns are terrible. I bought PSLs for 4 PSLs for $500, and from the Browns they're $750. So now I've got season tickets. My dad's like, well, you've got to go to every game. And I was like, I will. So starting in 2007, I would leave my job at 4:30 from Hartford, drive 600 miles, end up in Mayfield Giant Eagle, sleep in my car, go to the bars on Saturday, watch Ohio State play, get hammered, go drive to the Media Lot because it was 24 hours, sleep there. Then the parking lady would knock on my window, said, okay, time to get up, $20. I'm like, okay. And then I would do the same thing, watch the Browns lose, and drive home Monday. But something was different in 2007. They were 7-1 at home. I'm like, wait a minute, I got season tickets at the right time. I'm like, Dad, this was meant for me. So my dad's like, oh yeah, I keep going every year. So 2008 they finished 4-12 and back to the Blues. But I kept driving every game. Me and my friends that I would drive to games. And in 2010 I was like this, I'm driving and taking days off from work, and it's cold there. It's like, if I'm gonna take days off from work, it's gonna be somewhere nice with palm trees. So I told my boss, I said, hey boss, I'm gonna put my 2 weeks in. He's like, for what? I was like, I'm gonna go to Cleveland. He's like, oh, just for the games, right? I'm like, no, forever. He's like, well, you don't have a job. I was like, it's okay. I'm just gonna move and leave. So, I took $1,500 in my season tickets and my Browns jumpsuit, and I moved to Berea. And
The rest is history.
the rest is history. You don't have to be from Ohio to like the Browns, but I think that people in Cleveland, they don't realize what they have. They really, really love sports here in Ohio. Like, I grew up in Yukon. I went to Yukon. My sister went to Yukon, and they have a basketball dynasty. All these championships, 11 for women, the 6 for the men, and every time I go visit my family in Connecticut, no one cares about anything.
Why?
The Browns win 2 games in a row. They want to have a parade.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, it's an awesome story.
Hey, we talk about dedication. You're literally moving across the country for your fandom.
Yeah, all this for $3 pair of gloves from Jimmy Haslam. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for the season ticket gift.
No, but I mean, and with that, obviously, came the evolution of Top Dawg Tailgate. So can you tell us how that came about?
Yeah, so I was a Muni forever, and I lived and died Muni, and with age comes things like arthritis and
Wisdom,
weight and things like that.
Wisdom, yes.
So one day I was setting up at the Muni lot, and my friends and I, and we're back then we had 15, 20 people at sometimes 80. Depends. Obviously home opener's bigger. And, Paul Blart, Rent-A-Cops, they kicked us out one day. They said, no one can stand in here anymore. New rules. And I was like, I've been coming here for years. You're not going to harass me like this. And they said, we're harassing you now. I was like, you know what? Go screw yourself. I'm not going to come back. And I'm a man of my word. So I went over to Burke for a while, and I was like, it's kind of tame over there. But they do have flushable toilets. You go inside there. And they had all the things I liked. You can use charcoal. You can have fire pits. Then, just like anything, the rules changed. No more fire pits. I'm like, wait a minute, we're 3 and 12 and we can't have a fire? You're lucky anyone's coming down here at all. And they took away bathroom privileges for some, no charcoal, and then I was like, I'm getting tired of the games down here. So I went over to East Hamilton and 13th, out in the middle of nowhere near the F Valley building. And that's where Dan, the actual Top Dawg, he contacted me because he had a big tailgate in Burke. He's like, hey, I heard you left. I was like, yeah. He's like, well, why don't we team up? Because I have a big crew and you have a big crew. I was like, all right. So it was kind of like a forced marriage. I'm like, I don't know this guy. We're a little bit wilder. From my Muni days, he's, conservative, cheese and, Beechwood type of, profile in here, cheese and wine. I'm like, let's try and make it work. So we were there for 1 year in 2016. And I think that was the year we didn't win a game. Maybe 1 or 2 years, I think it was. And we were like, we got to get out of this lot. We can't even see the stadium. This is terrible. And so the summer of that year, we went around to different parking lots. And with the Browns sucking, guess what happens? People give up their seats, and people give up their parking. So we found this magical lot right above the pit. It has 34 cars in there, and 9 people gave up their spots. Because in that lot, you have to prepay at the beginning of the year. And so Dan and I looked at each other like, whoa, we can make this work. And so we moved over to which is now West 3rd and Summit Top Dawg Tailgate, and we've been there since 17.
Nice. And I know you mentioned, I think you said it was Dan is the Top Dawg.
Yeah, they call me the Ice Cube. I know I look like an iceberg, so I'm overweight. But Gerald McNeil's my favorite player, but he's a Top Dawg because he's got the Top Dawg ambulance. They call me the Cube.
Have him and Hanford Dixon ever had words?
I don't know, but we've had 80s Browns at our tailgates before, so we're hoping that the Top Dawg will come down to the Top Dawg. That would be the irony would be great.
I think Dan should challenge Hanford Dixon to a race
to see who the Top Dawg is.
I think he would do better smashing beers.
That's fair. We can make it some sort of Olympics. They could have some, athletic events, some drinking events.
Speaking of Olympics, once a year at our tailgate, we do a thing called the Flip Cup Olympics, and people are like, "What's Flip Cup?" Tipsy cup, depending what region you're from. The game where you drink the cup and flip is a relay race. But at Top Dawg Tailgate, we have the Flip Cup Olympics, which is 11 different events. You have left-handed, we have Flip Cup with a chaser, Connect 4, we have 4 different cups, you got to stack them on top of each other. Flip Cup wall, you got to flip it over a dial soap. We have all sorts of crazy ones. My favorite one's called Flip Cup Perfection. And so if you don't flip it the first time, you got to refill it. So that can get really nasty. So, but with my Muni background, I always have that flip cup at every tailgate. So we have flip cup medals for every tailgate, and we challenge the opposing teams that come down to our tailgate, because we invite all fans except Steelers fans, because they can't behave. It's like, I don't want fights and whatever that. But we challenge them in flip cup. That's what we do.
I did not even realize there were that many variations.
Oh, when you go to college for 7 years, you figure out a few things about the time.
Are you the real life Van Wilder?
A little mix of that, a little mix of Animal House. But now I got calm it down, because with the tailgate getting so big, it's like if I get sloshed, it only goes in the van, the school bus, and the ambulance a certain way. If I get hammered, the stuff will never get put away, and we're always in our seat for the national anthem and kickoff. I never miss any of that.
Yeah.
With a huge tailgate too, so the people are always late. They're just coming up with excuses.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. The Flip Cup Olympics sound fantastic.
Yeah.
Now,
it's not for everybody.
I will say this: I'm Polish.
Oh, really?
We did talk about something before you came over here, so a little bit of something that you guys do for every Steelers game, I believe it is.
Because the Steelers, and I get it. We have a better dental plan than most people in Pittsburgh, but the food's very similar.
Yeah.
And so for the Steelers game, we do 1,500 pierogies by hand and a bunch of paprikash. The one thing about Top Dawg Tailgate that people realize now, is because it's becoming bigger and bigger, is that all the food is made from scratch. So Dan and his pierogi buddies, they get the batter, they mix. They have a crimping team, a rolling team. It's a whole process, but everything is made from scratch. Because the way we look at it is that if we're not going to win any Super Bowls, at least we eat like champs.
That's true. We've been notching on stuff all day long. It's been fantastic.
I will say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
With the pierogies and the paprikash, I am definitely coming.
Yeah,
up,
you actually come for the first home game in October is our annual Mac for Mutts, and again we have City Dogs there, and it's just like the title, Mac for Mutts. And so we have a macaroni and cheese contest, and we have 20 different pans of mac and cheese. So we have Nick Wilson from the Fan. He comes down there and judges, and it's not easy being a judge, because this past year I was a judge, and after the 17th sample of mac and cheese, I was like this.
Whole bowl of mac and cheese.
And they were like this. We have 2 more coming on the way. I'm like, for real? And people get a little nervous about that, like about judging. But hey, listen, you don't have to worry about crapping inside the stadium, because you're backed up for about 2 months. But it's called Mac for Mutts. It's their first home game in October, and we give the proceeds to City Dogs.
And speaking of City Dogs, how did you guys get hooked up with them?
I emailed, and I did a couple rescues before where I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna give you guys $1,500 and some free exposure. And they're like, okay, what do we have to do? I was like, I'll just show up. And they're like, why are you doing this? I was like, well, I want to help somehow and give back to the community. And some rescues thought, I have a few screws. Well, maybe that's true, but what I say is what I do, and I say we're going to help you out. And a lot of rescues are real kind of, I don't know, we'll see. And then she's like, we just show up, and I was like, yeah, we'll do all the work, and then we'll give you all the money. So when we raise the money, like for this, I take the costs, whatever it costs, and then whatever people donate minus the cost, and that's what they get left over.
Yeah.
And so it worked out. She took a chance and said, hey, and we've been doing a partnership with them for the last few years now.
Great team that they have over there.
Yeah.
And so, great that you're working with them.
Yeah, it's the dogs for the dogs.
Exactly. So,
okay, I didn't get beer delivered to me.
Oh, there you go. Look.
Now
that's service.
Yeah, this is not even Uber Eats or drinks.
You're a community leader now.
I know.
This is what you get.
So is giving back kind of one of the highlights of what you're able to do with this?
I know a lot of people because, people realize my story is radical and they become my friend and stuff like that. But, I don't want to be labeled as a super fan because, those people are about themselves. I'm more about, I go under the radar a little bit, but everyone knows who I am. But, I don't need to be in front of the camera or, this is a big deal for me going on a podcast because it's not about me. It's about the people and the relationships. We live in a society where we hide behind fake profiles and this and that and burner accounts and people talking trash, and there's no real social interaction. So having events like this brings people off their keyboards and in real life. If you got a problem with me or you want to discuss Browns, we can come here in person, discuss it like normal people, and we're tailgating for a good cause. So it's about bringing people off the couch and out of their basements into real life situations where they can network and meet other Browns fans. Because, like, let's just face it, when you have a tailgate, usually people are stuck in their tailgate regimens. I get it, but now, like, there's no game going on, so all tailgates can come here. They can meet people. There's other podcasts here, and hopefully they all get along. I've heard some bad stories about that, but hey, I can only provide the medium for people to come together. What they do, hey, that's on them, but it's for the people. I can care less if I get any kind of notoriety. It's not about being in a Hall of Fame or wearing some pumpkin on your head or something like that.
Yeah,
I will say it does seem like sports is almost like the last bastion of things that we can kind of unite on.
Yeah, people are like, why do you have Brown season tickets? I'm like, it's like 3 hours of comedy every Sunday. It's like, I told my dad last year, I was like, Dad, the Browns lost every possible way. I wrote down the helmet, this, that. So they ran out of ways to lose. Now they can start winning.
Exactly. I mean, statistically, it's got to turn around.
What people got to do is they got to change their mindset. So, after the Browns went, 10-6, and then the next year they went, 4-12. I was disappointed. But my dad's like this: go to every game thinking they're going to lose. So if they win, it's a nice change. You got to change your mindset about going to these Browns games, because I used to be like, oh my God, the Browns lost, I'm going to go on the 480 and jump off the bridge. But now my dad's like this, well, change your mindset. I'm like, what do you mean, Dad? He's like, well, go to every game thinking they're going to lose. I'm like, for real? He's like, just thinking they're going to lose, and if they win, it's a nice change. Yeah. It's just a surprise. So if you set the expectation like that, you never walk out of the stadium pissed.
Yeah, I think honestly, if like more Browns fans embraced that and said, we're probably going to lose again, then they'd probably be a lot happier.
That's honestly where I've been for the last couple of years. It's because like every year
I tell him I have
expectations
for Browns.
It just hurts me inside.
Lower your bar.
But if I just come into it and then something good happens, I'm like, great Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel it.
So, look, I understand where you're coming from. I think it's absolutely noble, and awesome. You kind of like to fly under the radar, but at the same time, putting on events like this, the organization, it's a lot of work.
Well,
I want to make sure we at least give you your flowers here, because this does take a ton of coordination to put on an event like this.
My day job, you have to be organized. So I'm a teacher. So I teach kindergarten. So if you are not organized, these 5-year-olds will run your show. Mr. Barr, Mr.
Browns
Barr,
fans are, right?
It's like, so I look at a tailgate, and when they come to a tailgate, like Top Dog Tailgate, they're like this, oh my God, there's like check-in station, everything's planned out. I'm like this because I think about this in I guess I'm kind of sick, but I think about this all the time, like how to make tailgates better and run better. But it's kind of like the classroom. Teaching kindergarten is controlled chaos. Okay. Tailgate is controlled chaos, but I'd rather hang out with the kindergartners because they actually listen. When I say, okay, I got to put the beer away, they're like, come on. I'm like, it's, last call is last call. I'm like, there's a certain thing, but people they respect the organization that we have, because we run it like it's like NASCAR. Everything's gonna be timed. Like come in for a pit, you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna get your tires changed. It's the same concept. Everything is timed. I just wish that the Cavs could get that same kind of memo. Their timing is terrible. Last night,
hopefully before Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, hey, listen, Eric, it's been great having you on. Yeah. This event is amazing. And we're thinking, I already mentioned it to you, but I think we might start making this a yearly thing, because we really enjoy being here.
I invite podcasts back all the time. It's not about me. It's about people coming together. You meet new people. You can network and meet friends. Maybe some guy needs he does drywall and your house is all messed up. Hey, you network and get some connections that way. It's all about the people.
There you go.
I mean, we've met already like 3 other podcasts like this.
Yeah.
No Royal Rumbles, right? Good.
No, it's all been good.
Not yet. No SummerSlam.
We've actually run into some of those. They get like weirdly territorial, and we say there's enough room for all of us.
We have followers. You do not.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
It's odd.
All right, big guy.
It is what it is.
All right. Well,
but again, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing these dogs. I think they're about to arrive.
Yeah. They're in the van. They're walking around with them right now. It's like, that's cool.
I'm gonna go see those, and I'm probably gonna make fun of him because I think him and his wife are going home with the dog.
Oh, cool.
We already have one.
That's what I think. That's what the Browns should do. They should, when they have training camp there, they always have puppies. But you know what? There's a lot of dogs that are like 4 or 5 years old, and scumbag owners say, I don't want them no more, and they give them up. Like everyone adopts a puppy, but what about those other dogs that are sitting there that are great dogs, and the owner was a piece of crap and gave them up? I think that's what the Browns should do at training camp. But just my thoughts.
I agree.
Love it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Eric. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you guys.
True Fan Travel, an official fan experience partner of the Cleveland Browns and premier choice for true fans worldwide. True Fan Travel is your ultimate sports road trip buddy. They are all about bringing you closer to the heart-pounding action of your favorite away games. Whether you're cheering from the stands or soaking in the local vibes, they make sure every trip is packed with those I was there moments. So grab your gear and let's make some memories together. With trips planned for Las Vegas, Denver, Jacksonville, and New Orleans, keep your eyes open for the official schedule release and more details on your opportunity to join these amazing experiences. With True Fan Travel, it's not just a game, it's an adventure. All right, continuing our interview series here today at Bark at the Park, we have a Browns fan, Jeff, joining us here today. Jeff, I understand it's your anniversary. Is that correct?
Yes, Jeff Gorman, me and my wife Jennifer. It's our 22nd anniversary. We were married on May 4th, 2002, so we're celebrating 22 years right here at Bark in the Park.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
22 years.
That's a long time.
It is.
22 years. I was 11.
Okay.
It's longer than we both have married combined. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's a big milestone. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's true. A couple things here. We're going to ask you some Browns questions first. We
Okay.
have some other questions we want to get to for you as well. But first of all, just there's been a lot going on this offseason, right? The Browns have done a lot of things. Everybody else in the AFC North has done a lot to kind of improve their teams. Who poses the biggest threat, do you think, now after everything's gone on through the draft and through free agency to the Browns?
Well, I hate to say it, but it's probably the Ravens. I mean, it's strange because I want to say the Bengals, but we somehow seem to be matching up very well against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And the Steelers, I kind of still think that they're succeeding through smoke and mirrors. I don't see everybody having a winning record next year, too. And if anyone's going to drop below 500, I think it's got to be the Steelers. But when you have the Ravens and someone who's an MVP-type talent like Lamar Jackson, I think that's like my dad used to say about speed. You've either got it or you're chasing it.
Yeah.
Not only do they have speed, they now have Derrick Henry. So
Yeah, it's more speed to be chasing.
Exactly. Another Browns question here. Do you think the Browns are actually, with the way they've built the roster, the way AB and Stefanski have done things, if Deshaun, that's not part of the question, not if he can get healthy, just as the roster is now, do you think the Browns are a Super Bowl contender?
I think they are a Super Bowl contender because, obviously you just default will think, okay, the Chiefs are going to be there because they have been there and stuff. But, in order to win the Super Bowl, everything's got to go right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always happen year after year where everything's going right and you don't have any major problems and stuff. The Chiefs are 1 or 2 injuries away from not doing it. So someone's got to step into that void, whether it's the Ravens, whether it's us, whether it's even the Texans if they keep moving up. So you always have to, you got to stay in the ballpark. You got to stay close because if you just stay close, as we see in baseball, good things can happen and you could catch fire.
Absolutely.
Just to kind of round this out, obviously the draft just happened here. Any particular players you're excited about coming out of this year's draft of the Browns?
Well, I think they were pretty much filling in a few slots. It's hard to get super jazzed when you don't have a number 1 pick for so long. We're going to be so happy to get one again next time that happens.
True.
But I think that, like my friend Lou Marconi over here was telling me, he's like, it's exciting that we don't have a huge hole to fill up, that we already are a solid team. And, it used to be when you think back to the Indians, when the Indians weren't doing very good, we were happy to have, we're trying to find out who's our number 1 starter. Now you go into the season, well, who's our number 5 starter? We've got, so just to have that solid team returning and to finally have some coaching stability, which we've never had since this team came back, it's like you start with the cupboard 80% filled, and that's a good feeling to have, I think.
Yeah, it is. We actually just talked about this on our show this past week, and it's true. It's like it was the first draft that I can remember. Even these last couple where we didn't have number one draft picks, we still had some serious needs. Going into this draft, I was like, yeah, sure, there are some needs, but they're needs in the sense that we need depth, not in the sense that we need that guy to plug in and be the starter right away. So it was just a completely different feel in the draft to sit there and say, oh, that was nice. Yeah, we picked that guy up for depth.
Right, and it's like the best way to illustrate it is I was on this draft night show with Lou Marconi, and that's when I accidentally won tickets to this Bark in the Park event. I tuned in, and I was just in time for the Browns to make their first pick, and it was Friday at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So we went all the way that long before the Browns made their first pick. So I'm like, hey, I'm just in time for the Browns to start picking.
Perfect.
Yeah. Before I forget, I got to say it's great to be on the Burning River Sportscast because I announced for a team called the Burning River Buckets in the ABA, the American Basketball Association.
Oh, nice.
And I've been their announcer for the last 3 years. And last year, not this past year, but the previous year, we won the ABA championship.
Wow, nice.
Well, congrats to them.
We might reach out and talk about this a little bit.
Right.
Awesome.
They're in Mentor, but they're called the Burning River Buckets, and they're in the ABA.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of other things that you do, I know off air we were talking a little bit about some of the stuff you do, and you get involved with wrestling, actually.
Yes.
So tell us, I understand you wrote or are currently writing, or both, a book?
Yes, I've written a few books. I'm in the middle of writing another book. I started with a book called This Side of the Mic, which is about my career as a wrestling announcer, which just hit the 30-year mark. And then I wrote a little young adult novel called Wrestling is Real. And then I started on a series of pro wrestling history books because I realized that there was not a set of pro wrestling history books. So I thought I'll go ahead and write them. So I fired up the old WWE network, now Peacock, and so started watching all the shows. I wrote a book about the history of the WWF called King of New York, and that starts with the first WrestleMania, and it goes until our wedding day, May 4th, 2002, because that was the last show of the WWF, and then they switched, on our honeymoon, they switched over to WWE. I come back, and they're talking about the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. Like, what happened while we were gone? How long were we gone? They changed the name of the company. Yeah, and then I followed up with King of Atlanta about WCW, and I'm finishing up, I'm almost done with King of Philadelphia about ECW.
Oh, nice.
So now, did you kind of do all of your research, just kind of going back, watching through old matches and doing like timelines, or did you get into like interviews with guys? Like, did you talk to anybody interesting from any of these promotions?
Actually, I didn't do any interviews for that. What I did was I watched the shows and I gave an MVP award at the end of each show. And then I added up all those MVP awards, and the book is determined who was the MVP of the WWF.
Okay. Nice.
And then who was the MVP of WCW. So it's the storyline is you hear the whole history of that promotion, and at the end you find out who was the top performer in that promotion.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where can all our followers find your books? Where are they? Anywhere?
You can find them on Amazon. They're all in it. So just search for Jeff Gorman and punch in King of New York, King of Atlanta, or This Side of the Mic, or Wrestling is Real. Just type that into Amazon and it'll come right up.
And you're still not done with the ECW book, or you're close to?
I'm almost done. I'm just putting the finishing touches on.
Do you have an idea of when that might come out?
Probably in the next couple months, actually.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe later this year, maybe a good Christmas present for some folks?
It'd be a great Christmas present for the hardcore extreme wrestling fan on your shopping list.
Awesome. And we do like to dabble in wrestling on our show, so this is perfect. I'm sure there's a few out there that.
And it's the perfect time because SummerSlam's coming to Cleveland on August 3rd.
Oh yes, we got to figure out a way to go.
Yeah.
We got to infiltrate someone.
Right, and I'll be announcing for Game Changer Wrestling the night before, August 2nd. You have to look that up as far as where it is. I know it's the night before, and I'll be announcing that show.
Awesome.
So, and I know we want to keep this brief. We want to get you back out of here and back to the festivities here, but I just had another quick question about, obviously you're pretty well studied in all the different promotions and different like eras and things. Like, is there a favorite time frame for you, just personally? Like, whether it be Ruthless Aggression or Attitude Era, or even now some of the PG stuff. Like, from a storytelling standpoint.
I think they're all great in their own way, but I think my favorite has to be the 80s, the Hogan Savage era. That's when the Saturday night's main event era. That's when I first started watching wrestling and really fell in love with it. I never grew. I think the reason why I still love wrestling, I'm still announcing wrestling, is that I never grew out of it. I didn't discover it until I was like 15. I turned on Saturday Night Live and this wrestling stuff was on in its place. I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. And I went to the Richfield Coliseum and saw Hulk Hogan against Randy Macho Man Savage, and I was hooked ever since.
I have so many friends and family that have such fond memories of Richfield Coliseum.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they'll talk about going to Richfield Coliseum to watch big time wrestling all the time. We never had a chance to go to Richfield, obviously, but I know a lot of folks that they're very, very fond memories of that place.
Yeah, the first Survivor Series was there. I was there.
Man, so many things.
Absolutely. I had one other question, but now I'm blanking.
Well, you're an idiot, so. Listen, Jeff, it's been fantastic having you on. We appreciate you joining Bark in the Park and supporting City Dogs Cleveland. And we will be keeping an eye out for that book coming. Who knows? You might be watching Burning River Sportscast someday soon. You just see it sitting up here on our thing. Like, we know him.
That would be great, yeah. So just hit me up on Twitter, Jeff D. Gorman, D for David, and you'll see when that comes out. I'll have a big book launch.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, we continue our interview series here today at Bark in the Park, supporting City Dogs Cleveland. Obviously there's a ton of things going on, a ton of food.
We got fans.
A huge tailgate here going on. I'm looking around in the crowd, and I see a familiar face. Not one that I know, but it's one that I recognize.
Bro, you smacked me so hard.
I was like, is this the guy? And we were like, I don't know. But
I think it's the guy.
We have, in the flesh, our friend Tony.
The guy.
Who is the guy.
A.K.A. T-Wobbles.
T-Wobbles. You may recognize from a viral video. What game was that, and what can you give us the background?
Yeah, sure.
How hard did you go that day?
So I went pretty hard. Cincinnati. It was a Cincinnati game in Cincinnati. About 5 games before the last game of the season. So I'm in Cincy. I'm having a blast, and they have the tailgates on there are kind of crazy. It's under a bridge, which Bengals, that's where they belong. Under a bridge, but
that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's how the rivalry got to go. But they were giving away free beers and burgers. Breweries were sponsoring the tailgate. I'm like, are you serious? Free? This is amazing. I'm like, Cincinnati's great. We can hang out under a bridge, and have a blast and get free drinks and burgers. So went pretty hard, and then the beginning of the third quarter rolls around, and that's about where my memory stops.
Yeah. And so how long did you actually stay on your feet wobbling like that?
I think till the end of the game, and then I kind of just sat down and got comfy and cozy. No ushers, no security, no nothing. Woke me up. They just let me relax and, slept it off.
So did someone here from Dawg Tailgate come save you, or?
No. I made it out the stadium, and some guy in Cincinnati, instead of helping me, if I saw someone passed out in a chair in the Brown Stadium, I would come up to him, give him my hand, and tell him, "Hey, it's time to."
Well, you're a Clevelander.
I
got some class.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, exactly. It's class. But he just sat there and videotaped me for a while. Followed me outside. I sat down outside, kept videotaping. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Had my friend pick me up. She, went to go eat hibachi or whatever, and she's like, you go to the game by yourself, you guys get wild, I'll come get you. So she saved me, she took me back. But then later that night, my mom's like, you're disgracing the family name. I ended up on CBS News or NBC, whatever it was, crazy Browns fan has too much fun. Oh, yikes. But
disgrace, I mean, that was you made fantastic. The family name.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
We have a blast no matter where we go. I go to 17 Browns games, home and away, every every year. This is my 4th year doing it because COVID, you couldn't do it. You had to wear masks. Some games you weren't allowed. LA, they had the restrictions, whatever it was. So the year before COVID, when we still had 16 games, went to all 16. Then after that, COVID, and then 3 years after that, went to all 17 Browns games home and away. This last year was 18 Browns games. I was in Houston twice within a matter of 3 weeks.
Yep,
once on Christmas Eve, and the next one with Flacco and.
So have you been a Browns fan a lot longer than that? Or
a lot longer. 0-16, 1-15. I ride for my baby boys no matter what. It doesn't matter.
You've seen it all.
We're dogs for life. You know how it goes here.
Hell yes. So, question though. I mean, like, the guy that took the video, did he end up getting all the money and everything from that thing going viral? Because that's got to have millions and millions.
So
and millions
listen,
and millions of views.
It was
royalties.
It was $1 million or $2 million within like 48 hours.
Oh,
What am I even doing on there? Wobbling? I mean, that's what you got me famous for. Cool. I wasn't fighting, puking, spitting, nothing.
Right.
So at the end of the day, who won? I did, because I got a buddy together, and I said I got to clear my name. I can't just be that guy wobbling on TV.
You can't just be T-Wobbles.
So right. I got an interview with Angry Browns fan and Cleveland Barstool. They interviewed me, and I had a good interview that went public, and I cleared my name and I explained I'm actually a good stand-up citizen. This is not a blackout homeless drunk.
Hey, look, we have all been there.
Sure.
It's just like sometimes we haven't all had that moment caught on camera, which you did, unfortunately. But like we've all.
Hell,
but that's why I think
I
it's
used
so.
to play Frogger in the streets of Nashville. So.
But that's why I think it's so great, right? Because it's so relatable. We've all hit that point where you're just there, but you're not there anymore.
I mean, this guy changed my life forever in a great way. I'm recognized by the Browns fans and stuff like that. And when they say, "Hey, you're legends here," that's what they call me, legend. I'm not a legend. You guys are legends because we just ride for our city. We're just Cleveland fans. I'm like anybody else that's out here. I'm nobody special. I'm just a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. And you know what's crazy? This last year, I went to Cincinnati for the last game of the season that didn't matter, right? We had already clinched the playoffs. But I could not go because I go to 17 home and away. It doesn't matter. So I went there. I randomly bought a seat 15 minutes before game time, 5 seats away from where I sat for. I had no idea because I, had too good of a time the year before.
Sure.
And guess what? This beefed up old, in his 50s wrestler comes up to me and said, "I'm the guy who videotaped you. I'm the guy that made you famous." I'm like, "Look, I hate you and I love you at the same time." I'm like, did I just randomly buy a seat 5 seats away from where I sat the year before? I had no idea because I buy tickets 5 minutes before game time. You think I have season tickets or whatever it is? No.
So did you guys exchange information? Are you guys friends now?
I made him buy me a steak dinner.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's the way you do it, right? Let bygones be bygones.
No, yeah,
we exchanged a big piece of meat, and I love it.
We exchanged numbers. He's actually a nice guy. I'm like, "Why'd you videotape me? Why didn't you give me your hand and help me? Like you saw I was in trouble."
Set me down and just say, "Hey,
something, anything. Like take me outside. I was in Pittsburgh for the game a year before, and I saw a big boy passed out on the ground, and it took like 5 of us to get him up. But I'm a Browns fan, and I hate Pittsburgh? Yeah, I hate Pittsburgh. We're rivals, but am I going to help a human being on the ground? Yeah, I am, because that's what kind of guy I am.
Very fair.
So, we do want to ask you why you're here, too. Obviously, you're a huge fan, traveling with the team everywhere they go. We want to ask you a couple questions about the team.
Please.
Here. So,
how about the draft just happened? Do you have a favorite that came out of the draft this year, or even an undrafted free agent signing they've made recently?
So we got who did we get? I'm terrible with names. Who did we just get that was one of the first picks that we chose?
So Michael Hall from Ohio State.
Hall, yep. Excited about him. That's what I'm,
Yeah.
He's one of our favorites. Obviously, no first-round draft pick, which is what it is. But the fact that they got a guy that he measured the fastest off the line out of any defensive lineman in the entire draft in the second round like that, just phenomenal. I think he's going to do wonders for opening things up for other people on the team.
Yeah, you guys can't talk technicalities with me. I'm just a diehard Browns fan. I'm going to watch them no matter who's on the field. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So here's a great question for you, for somebody who's been a fan of the team for a long time. This time of year, as we're heading into summer, we're heading in towards Hall of Fame season. Art Modell's name always comes up.
Oh my God!
Are you over Art Modell, or is it time to put him in the Hall of Fame?
I put him in the Hall of Fame. He sold our team to the Ravens, who won Super Bowls. I don't want to
see him in the Hall.
I don't want to use obscenities on your.
Oh, please do.
Please do.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah.
Fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yes, if you gave me permission, then that's what I'm gonna use.
Yeah,
He broke my heart. He broke my heart, and I was super young. I think I was like 10 or something at the time. It broke my heart. Sell the team. Well, this city we live for that. We live for football season every year.
We just, what's that meme where it's just like the guy standing in random places looking around? That was like all of Browns fans for those years that we weren't there.
Right.
It was terrible.
It's horrible.
I think we totally agree with you. I just think it's one of those that, for whatever reason, every year comes up, and I started asking about because he was.
It's actually about that time. It's another like 2 months.
He was impactful in
Yeah.
changing and growing the game, but what he did here was unforgivable.
Yeah, it's a little bit unforgivable, but I'm a man all about forgiveness. So if you ask me if he should or shouldn't, and he did amazing things for the game, God bless him, put him in.
Fuck him. I'm with you. Fuck him.
I just love second chances. Life's all about second chances.
That's fair, but I still don't like him. Do you have a record prediction for the Browns this year?
Yeah, 17-0 with a fucking Super Bowl win. God damn it.
Hell yes. And final question for you, Tony. Are you going to adopt a dog today?
There's only one out there. I have 2 monstrous dogs. If you guys ever seen the movie Turner and Hooch, I have 2. They're basically
They actually starred in the show.
What's it? No. But I have 2 giant dogs. They're 130 pounds apiece. They're brother litter mates, and they. That's 260 pounds of boyfriend I have sleeping in bed with me every night. You know what I mean? So the slobber hits the ceiling every day. I got to scrub the room with a paintbrush. It's out of control. So I love puppies. Today I won't be, but I wish everyone would adopt a dog. It's the most therapeutic thing you could possibly do. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a great cause. The dog adoption agency here is amazing. I just asked if I could work for them so I could switch jobs so I could be happier in life.
There you go.
But they said they're mostly volunteer only, so I'm going to start volunteering for them a little bit here and there. I just met the guy who's hosting this event actually at a Judas Priest concert. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. We met, we hugged, he recognized me, and I said, I'm coming to your event, I'm donating, and I would just love to enjoy it. It's amazing. Rain or shine, I'm here no matter what.
Absolutely. It's awesome seeing Browns fans from all over. There's people from far away that have come to this thing to support it, and the rescue that you were talking about, City Dogs Cleveland, all proceeds go to them. Like you said, great cause. Everything they do is fantastic. So it's good to see Browns fans come together for such a good cause.
Yeah, I gave the young lady money at the gate. She said, "Are you sure this is what you want to donate?" I'm like, "Are you kidding? Of course. I'd give all that I can. It's anything that supports our city, and all the great things that we do here are incredible. I love it."
For sure. Well, I know we want to get you back to the festivities here, but just speaking of the city real quick, do you have thoughts on whether you'd like to see the stadium remain at the lakefront or move into Brook Park and have a new stadium built?
You know what? Judge me for what you want to judge me. I'm 38 years old. Whether you think that's old, young, or middle-aged, doesn't matter. I personally like it where it's at right now for a specific reason. Old school tradition. You want to go to a game and it's blizzarding? Go to the damn game. Bundle up. Yeah. But a lot of people are like, it'll open a lot more opportunity for the city. But it's just like the way things are downtown, whether you have the Indian Stadium, Guardians, oopsies, Guardians, Cavs, all that in the Brown Stadium down there, everything's like all right there. You got the comedy clubs, you got the House of Blue, like everything's right there. It's so perfect. Like we're not a huge, gigantic city like New York or LA or whatever, but everything's so accessible. You move us to Brook Park, it's kind of like you're missing a piece of our bloods in a different, but it opens up a lot of opportunity. You put a dome in, it could, a lot more concert venues can come, this and that. So I think it's good and bad at the same time. Me personally, I'm old school in my brain. I just switched from a flip phone like 2 years ago. I had the same phone since I was 16 years old. Regardless, I think keep it downtown, keep it old school, and no dome.
Fair.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's something to that, the cold and the wind, being on the lake.
You're in the elements.
And yeah, it's just real football.
I know it doesn't make sense because I live in Northeast Ohio, but I hate the cold. So I'm like, let's get this dome in here immediately.
It's not a terrible idea at the same time. It's just in a completely different area than downtown, right? How many? 30 minutes away about, right?
Depending on
15,
traffic.
20,
Yeah,
15. What? I mean,
20,
yeah, it's just, what are you going to
You
do
can
with the
still
old
see
one?
the city in the distance when you show the overhead view. So
Yeah.
Tony, you have been a scholar and a gentleman. We appreciate your time here. We appreciate you coming out, support City Dogs.
don't let anybody tell you anything different.
Yeah.
You are a legend.
You are a legend.
You guys are legends. God bless you. Everyone from Cleveland is a legend. God bless you guys.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right, Browns fans, we experienced some unexpected weather here today at Bark in the Park. Had some heavy rains kind of come out of nowhere, so we had to unfortunately pack up our equipment in a hurry. My partner has long since abandoned me, and we'll be closing up shop here at Bark in the Park, the 12th annual Bark in the Park experience for this year. Hope to be back next year. It was a great event, great cause to support, but for now, don't just be a part of the problem, be the whole damn problem. Burning River Sportscast, Burning Rivers.
Browns fan cruise and the Burning River Sportscast. What better combination could you possibly think of?
Motorboat? You play the motorboat? You motorboat son of a bitch. You old sailor, you.
You know what I was thinking during that interview?
What? What were you thinking? Nothing, because you don't have thoughts, because you're a brainless idiot.
Wow.
My name is Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
By the way, I want my foreskin back.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Women's Guide to Anal Sex, and it was the second edition. Who makes the second edition?
The weather outside is weather.
The other one, the finger eating food fingers.
Yes.
Ejaculate all over my body and my genitals.
Yes.
Oh my god! My house is full of shit! He's shit everywhere!
You don't need fundamentals when you got heart.
and Jesus.
And Jesus.
That's right.
Touchdown.
Number
Anyways,
one.
Oh no! We suck again!
it's going down. I'm
I'm
yelling timber.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Are we gonna?
You're only in this city.
Should we start a meat podcast of it, like
the meat pod?
slow roasted?
Goddamn jets.
All I do is win, no matter what.
The leads are weak. The leads are weak. Fucking leads are weak. You're weak.
I mean, last year when I won and went home, my wife's pants hit the ground.
Erroneous. Erroneous on both counts. Oh, Lord.
Wow.
But damn,
Well, I'm sorry. I hijacked your segment for a second to do some good podcasting.
You know why, mister? Because you drove a Hyundai to get here tonight. I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name.
if you're sitting in the aisle, I'm here to say fuck you.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
I think we've officially lost all of our more conservative viewers. So I don't think they want to listen any longer.
This is
just happened?
it's Mother Nature.
Where's Logo Girl when you need her?
I desperately want to make love to
This cheese
We
girl.
need Cheese Girl now.
Down goes Anderson! Down goes Anderson!
Who's canceled now? Who's canceled now?
Probably me.
You making fun of fat people?
I'm not. Just you.
We're a whole race, basically.
No way. You just finger bang their salad. What?
You first get shocked, and then you get the shocker.
Hey, you like to see homos naked? That's cool, man. Whatever. No.
Had my life. It tastes like
Hold on, let's
it came out
pause
of a
here.
trash
Let's pause
can.
here. Most people, they're driving along and they're in between meals. They're like, I'm a little hungry. I'm going to have a granola bar. And he's like, I need a cheeseburger.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you were here?
Today's episode was brought to you by Towpath Gin. Towpath Gin, a true craft American gin made in its own style. A blend of 9 botanicals brings a moderate amount of juniper with a citrus backbone. Layers of 7 other botanicals shine through for this incredibly well-balanced and high-quality small batch. Available locally in Northeast Ohio and online in 46 states. Towpath Gin.